This has been a challenging year for everybody, of course. It's not been any different for Department of Religious Studies. We had to get used to a life online. We have to do teaching, meetings, administration, service, and also research somehow, mostly online. We met with colleagues online. We had conferences online. So we really gotten used to this online world, although I think many of us really, really look forward to being back in person again. I certainly do myself. As a department, I feel we have actually done fairly well. We've managed to adapt and reconfigure our courses, our teaching, the way we interact with others, with the way we do our research and so on. And now I would say things are looking up, at least in this part of the world, and we should be able to return more or less to normal in the fall. And as I say, I feel we've weathered this long and difficult period quite well. So I really want to thank all faculty members in religious studies for coming together and putting in all the extra work and effort needed in order to continue carrying out the department's mission. Now, usually at these events, the Adler Luncheon, we introduce each faculty member, but we're not going to do this year in interest of keeping this relatively short and not adding to the Zoom fatigue that I think we probably all are feeling. But anyway, a big thanks to all the faculty members. Also a big thanks to all our great and talented graduate students. Graduate students play an indispensable role in this department. We are fortunate to be able to honor a few of the grad students today. But our grad students is really part of the very core of the life of the department. Most of our grad students are also teaching assistants, and they have worked tirelessly with the faculty in making our courses function well online as well as possible through this pandemic. Now, I also want to thank our undergraduate students who in many ways, I think, have really carried the biggest burden in all of this, right? They've had to put extra work and effort in for themselves for the academic year being successful for themselves. And as a group, they really stepped up. And actually, many have done very well in our courses, even under these rather difficult circumstances. So I'm again very happy we'll be able to acknowledge at least some of these great students at this event here today. I also want to express my special thanks to our two departmental staff members, Maureen Walterhouse and Robin Burns. Maureen and Robin, you have been the bedrock of this department for a long time, but especially through this period. You have kept things going and among other things, organized this very event we're doing right here. And we're really all very grateful to you. I also want to thank those of you who are in the groups of friends and family of students who are in the audience today. Your support of the students in your life have no doubt made a huge difference to them and helped them lighten their burden, especially through this particularly difficult year. So that's it for my introductory remarks. I won't take too much of your time. But just to remind you of the program for today, we're now going to present the undergraduate awards first and then the graduate awards afterwards. We'll talk a little bit about each reward, what it signifies, and something about the recipients. And then we will have a celebration of our friend and colleague, Fred Smith, who has taught here at the University of Iowa in Sanskrit and Indian religions for 32 years. And who's now retiring at the end of this semester. So basically right now. So at the end of this event, Fred will talk a bit about his career, and we're going to hear a few words from his colleagues and his former students. So let's move on to the student awards. Now, normally, Jordan Smith, who is our Director of Undergraduate Studies, would present these awards, but he's unfortunately not going to be able to be with us today. So I'm going to present these awards on Jordan's behalf. So normally each award recipient would come up to the podium, right, and shake hands and receive their awards. Of course, this is not possible, but I suggest to the awardees, people receiving the awards, if you're present, when I call your name, you might turn on your video if you can do so, and just say hi or here or something, so we'll get a chance to see you and acknowledge your presence. Okay, so on behalf of Jordan Smith, I now would like then to present to you the undergraduate Adler Awards. And we have a number of different awards, and they each have sort of slightly come from different sources and have different donors. And so I'll talk a little bit about each award and then talk about the person who is receiving the award. So first, we have the Catholic Studies Scholarship. This award is given to a graduate or undergraduate student who has expressed an interest in the general area of Catholic studies, regardless of religious background. And it goes to Luz Martinez. And Christy Naban-Warren is a faculty member who has nominated her. So Luz, if you're here, maybe you can just say hi or something.
Hello.
Hi, congratulations. So Luz Martinez has majors in religious studies and Spanish, as well as seeking a pre-medicine degree. Professor Naban-Warren in her nomination says, Luz is an absolute delight to have in the class last fall 2020. Luz has a great interest in Catholic studies. She's a first-gen Latinx student who's made important substantive contributions to our class discussions all semester long. She's an ambassador of DEI, of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, interfaith dialogue, and respectful conversations about religion. So congratulations, Luz. I see you here on my second screen. So by the way, I should tell everybody the awards has been available here in physical form at the Department of Religious Studies, and many of the students have been by and picking up a little package with their award information and a diploma and so on. So next we have the E.P. Adler Award. Betty and Lloyd Schermer established this award to honor Betty's grandfather, E.P. Adler, one of the department's founders. And as you may know, the department was founded now over 90 years ago, Partner School of Religion. This award is given to a graduate or undergraduate student in the Department of Religious Studies. And the winner of this award is Sydney Ullman, who is was nominated by Ahmed Sohaya. Sydney, are you here? Can you say
yes, hi? I am. And I just want to extend my sincerest thanks to everyone.
Well, congratulations. Sydney is a double major in history and religious studies with minors in French, philosophy, and social justice, and an unclassified human rights certificate. Sydney has been a great student, and Professor Sohaya notes, after taking several courses in religious studies, Sydney Ullman has developed a strong curiosity about the role of religion in economic life. Sydney is thinking of applying to a graduate program that will enable her to learn more and research these topics. So congratulations, Sydney. Next, we have the Helen Goldstein Undergraduate Research Paper or Project Award. So this award is a relatively new one. It was established in 2012 to honor Dr. Helen Goldstein, who is specialized in medieval Jewish and Islamic philosophy here at the University of Iowa. This award is given to the best undergraduate student research paper or project. And the recipient of this award is Grant Tapkin, who was nominated by Jordan Smith. Are you here, Grant?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Grant is a double major in religious studies and Asian civilization who will be attending Concordia Seminary in the fall. He was also recently selected as one of the student leaders to first meet our newly selected university president. Very exciting. Dr. Smith explains, Grant has worked with me on his thesis in the beginning of the fall semester, has written a very strong reception history analysis of 1 Samuel chapter 28. It's the witch or medium of Ender section that explains how ideological and cultural changes led to a frequent need to reinterpret this passage. Sounds very interesting. Congratulations, Grant. So then we have the Carl Hoffman Award. Now, the Carl Hoffman Award goes to an outstanding junior in religious studies major who exhibits academic excellence, strength of character, and a broad and conscientious concern for ultimate and spiritual questions. And the award this year goes to Catherine Freeman, who was also nominated by Jordan Smith. Are you here, Catherine?
Yes, hi everyone.
Hi, congratulations. So Kate Freeman is a double major in history and religious studies who actually began the fall semester thinking about declaring a minor. Her interest in is in the intersection of religion and politics during the troubles between Catholics and Protestants in Ireland. And she plans to finish her studies this fall in Scotland. Dr. Smith says in his nomination, I have really enjoyed getting to know Kate this semester and her interest in history and religion. While she will be missed in the fall, we are proud to support her efforts to study abroad and are confident that she'll make the most of this experience. So congratulations, Kate. Okay, so now we have the Islamic Studies Award. This award is given to a graduate or undergraduate student who's done outstanding work in some area of Islamic studies. The award is made on the basis of academic excellence. And this year, the award goes to Lauren Phillips, who was nominated by Ahmed Sohaya. Lauren, are you here by any chance?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Lauren. Well, I should say congratulations on this award. Lauren Phillips is a member of the honors program with majors in international studies, French, and international business, and is also pre-law. Very busy. Professor Swaya explains in his nomination that the connections with these fields, these very disparate fields, are that it's all in Middle East and public policy, and Lauren plans to pursue a graduate degree that sharpens and further develops those interests. So congratulations, Lauren. Then we come to the Barbara W. and Rex Montgomery Award. Professor Rex Montgomery was a longtime supporter of the department, and he was a past president of the advisory board. So we at the Religious Studies have an advisory board, which actually I just had a meeting with this morning. This award is given to a graduate or undergraduate student in religious studies based on academic merit. And this year we have two recipients of this award. So first we have Jessica Fogel, who was nominated by Jordan Smith. And then secondly, we have Eliza Link, who was nominated by Morton Sluter, which is me. So first, a little bit about Jessica Fogel. Jessica, are you here? Oh, maybe Jessica couldn't be here today. Jessica Fogel is a double major in religious studies and Asian civilization, and she has been accepted into the Classics MA program with funding at the University of Missouri. Dr. Smith says in his nomination, Jessica is one of the best students I've ever taught in my many years here at the University of Iowa, and it has been a privilege to watch her growth over the last several years. Congratulations, Jessica. Now, the other award winner of this award is Eliza Link. Eliza, are you here? Eliza, okay. Eliza seems to not be here right now, but we're still very happy to be able to present her with this award. She is an honor student and her... Oh. John, okay. I think that was a little slip there. So Eliza is an honor student in her second year. She's taking an art BFA. She's also doing an art history BA, and as well as an entrepreneurial management certificate. Now, she was first brought to my attention by my TA in this course, John Sheridan. And John, and I noticed Eliza in the class because she's always there on Zoom, and she often asks questions and so on. John says, Eliza always comes to class incredibly well prepared, and she provides fantastic contributions to the discussion. She has a graduate level perspective on things and insights on the course material and related topics. That is equal to what you would expect from a graduate student. She has received A's on all her course assignments. So congratulations, Eliza.
Thank you, Professor Sluter. I am here. I was just muted. Sorry.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Nice to see you. And thanks for being in my class. I enjoyed having you in it.
Thank you. It was a great course.
Thank you. Then we come to the Sonia Sands Scholarship Award. This scholarship was established in 1982 from donations to honor Sonia Sands, who was a house mother of the Phi Epsilon Pi fraternity for over 20 years. This award recognizes talented students in the area of Jewish studies. For this award, we have two recipients. One is Peter Westlund, and the other is Liam Kaboli. And they were both nominated by Jay Holstein and Ellen Holstein, who have been teaching courses on Jewish studies. So Jay and Ellen sort of write about Peter and Liam together. So I'm going to tell you what they wrote. They say Peter Westlund and Liam Kaboli, the two Sonia Sands Award recipients this year, hold in common the highest virtues, thoroughness and insightful analysis. Sorry, let me just stop for a second and see. Peter, are you here?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Okay,
Thank you,
hi,
everybody.
Congratulations. How about you, Liam? Are you here?
Yes, hello everyone.
Hello, Liam. Okay, so Liam used to play soccer with my son, so it's not the first time I meet Liam here. So there's a little more here. Peter is on the path to dental school, also with a major in health science, health science and multidisciplinary science, a minor in American studies, and a certificate in entrepreneurial management. Liam attained a double major in political science and ethics and public policy and earned a certificate in sustainability. In his final year at Iowa, Liam worked as a research assistant studying state responses to the COVID-19 pandemic. He is currently working for the Department of Veteran Affairs as a patient service assistant, helping to protect patients during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he has plans to proceed to graduate school. JNN Holstein notes that both students came to these courses because they have had family members in the past who've taken these courses. As you all know, Jay Holstein has been teaching at the University of Iowa now for 50 years. He's still teaching for us. And so he has had several generations of students coming to his classes, and it seems Peter and Liam are also among those students. So Peter and Liam, congratulations to both of you. Great job. Finally, we have the Charles Schoen Interfaith Scholarship Award. This scholarship honors the late Charles Schoen, who served on the department's advisory board for 11 years. The award is given to an undergraduate religious studies major based on the student's academic record. And this year it goes to Caitlin Timke, and she was nominated by Jordan Smith. So, Caitlin, are you here? Or Val, I guess you go by? Val, are you here? If you are, just say hi. Anyway, maybe it appears she couldn't be here today, but Val Timby has majors in both English and creative writing and religious studies, and has been invited to join several honor societies like Phi Beta Kappa and Theta Alpha Kappa. Dr. Smith said in his nomination, Val has spent this semester preparing to write an honors thesis and has consistently surprised me with her ability to comprehend advanced material. Indeed, she became even more engaged and interested in the more complicated material, so I ended up changing the reading list to make it more challenging. So congratulations, Val, and congratulations to all our undergraduate award recipients. I think we can sort of all give them a hand now. We are really fortunate in this department to have so many wonderful students, and we're also fortunate that we have this opportunity to honor them and recognize at least some of their accomplishments. So the next item in the program then today is the Graduate Student Awards, and I think Professor Cates will present those awards. So I'll pass it over to Professor Cates now.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you all. I served as Director of Graduate Studies this year, and it was such a pleasure getting to know our students much more than I have in the past. They are extraordinary human beings, extremely bright, and they're all going to be successful in their own ways. So I'm really happy to have the opportunity to present these awards. I wish we had awards for every single student because I think that every one of them deserves recognition. A few of these awards can be given to either graduate students or undergraduate students. So I do want to repeat the names and descriptions of the awards just to honor the people who've made these awards possible. So the first award to be conferred is the E.P. Adler Award, established by Betty and Lloyd Schermer, to honor Betty's grandfather, E.P. Adler, as you know, one of the department's founders. This award is given to a graduate student in the Department of Religious Studies in recognition of academic excellence. The E.P. Adler Award goes to Nayara Leao Inacio. Nayara?
Hi, everyone.
Yay, congratulations. And Nayara was nominated by her PhD director, Dr. Paul Dilly, who wishes to recognize her innovative work on women and gender in early Christianity, especially her scholarship on the role that male authors played in mediating women's culture in the first century Mediterranean world. The next award is the Alice Marguerite Blau Award, which was established in 1994 with a gift from the estate of Alice Marguerite Blau in memory of her parents, Reverend Albert P. Blau and Estelle M. Blau. The award is given for the best graduate student research paper of the year. The winner of the Alice Marguerite Blau Award is Dr. Darcy Metcalf.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Darcy.
Hi.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Darcy was nominated by me in recognition of her outstanding dissertation on the ethics of the inheritable genetic modification of human embryos, which was written under my direction and defended this spring. Darcy was independently nominated also by Dr. Ray Menser, who is grateful for the way in which Darcy quietly and conscientiously mentored him as he grappled with the challenges of COVID-related online teaching. And Darcy was nominated by Dr. Christy Navin Warren, or Dr. Christy, who characterizes Darcy as a scholar activist of the highest order. Congratulations, Darcy.
Thank you all. Thank you.
The next award is the John P. Boyle Award in Catholic Studies, established in 1998 in honor of our dear colleague, John P. Boyle, who served as a professor in the department from 1972 to 1998 and director from 1979 to 1989. The award is given to a graduate or undergraduate student in religious studies based on academic excellence, who has done outstanding work in some area of Catholic studies. The winner of the John P. Boyle Award is Carlos Ruiz Martinez. Does Carlos happen to be here? Okay. He's unable to be with us today, actually, because he's about to present some of his research at Stanford. And so lots of us are going to be hanging around after this event in order to catch that paper. But he was nominated by his PhD director, Dr. Christie, in recognition of his innovative and rigorous pedagogy, as well as his celebrated traditional and public scholarship on Latinx religious studies and Catholic studies. Congratulations to Carlos. The next award is the President and Mrs. Eugene Gilmore Scholarship, which was established in 1985 to support the study of culture, humanistic values, and the quest for new symbols in contemporary culture. The award was named for Eugene Gilmore, past president of the University of Iowa and supporter of the department. This award is given to a doctoral student in religious studies who has an interest in the relationship between religion and culture, especially the visual arts. The winner of the President and Mrs. Eugene Gilmore Scholarship is Andrea Scardina. Andrea, are you here? Andrea was nominated by her dissertation director, Dr. Paul Dilley, in recognition of the ways in which she has used artistic depictions in sculpture and paintings to advance the current scholarly debate about the early Christian preference for the codex as opposed to the scroll. Congratulations to Andrea. The next award is the Alice Lamp Heidel and John B. Heidel Memorial Award, which was established in memory of M. Willard Lamp, the founding director of the department and Mrs. Heidel's father. The award honors a graduate teaching assistant whose commitment to undergraduate teaching is evidenced by the outstanding performance of assigned teaching duties and exceptional interest in and service to undergraduate students. The Alice Lamp Heidel and John B. Heidel Memorial Award goes to Michael McDougall.
Hi, thank you guys so much.
Hey, congratulations, Michael. He was nominated by Dr. Robert Cargill and me for his highly effective work as a TA in our online courses. Michael's pedagogy reflects a mature understanding of teaching and learning as an unfolding relationship based on mutual respect, openness, and curiosity. One moment, please. The next award is the M. Willard Lamp Scholarship, which was established to honor the first director of the School of Religion and to support a graduate student whose scholarship is likely to engage the public in ways that recognize and acknowledge diverse religious beliefs and foster religious tolerance. The M. Willard Lamp Scholarship is awarded to Katie Lindgren Hansen.
Hi, thank you.
Hey, Katie. I nominated Katie in recognition of her creative and probing work at the intersection of 19th century literature, U.S. religious movement known as spiritualism, and the study of religious ethics. Congratulations to Katie. The next award is the Barbara W. and Rex Montgomery Award. Professor Rex Montgomery was a longtime supporter of the department and the past president of the advisory board. This award is given to a graduate or undergraduate student in religious studies based on academic merit. The winner of the Barbara W. and Rex Montgomery Award is Dr. Emma Rifai.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Emma. Dr. Raymond Menser nominated Dr. Rifai for her dissertation, which was directed by Dr. Jenna Sott Montgomery and Dr. Christie and defended this spring. The title is Secular Embodiments, Body Management, Protestant Culture, and American Secularism in the 21st Century. Emma was nominated also by Dr. Christie, who characterizes Emma as a model of professionalism and celebrates her deep engagement with the department during her graduate career at Iowa. I also nominated Emma in recognition of her important work in defending academic freedom. Congratulations, Emma. And the next award is the Reverend Louis P. Penningrath Scholarship, which was established by Reverend Penningrath's wife, Ethel, to honor her husband. The award goes to a graduate student who demonstrates a concern for fellow students through their teaching practices and skills as a mentor. The Louis P. Penningrath Scholarship goes to John Sheridan.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Christy.
Hey, John. John was nominated by his dissertation director, Dr. Christie, for his innovative and rigorous pedagogy and his excellence in the classroom. Dr. Christie describes him as a seriously gifted teacher. Congratulations, John. The final award to be conferred is the Robert and Mary Ann Small Stenger Religious Studies Scholarship, which is established by graduate alumna Mary Ann Small Stenger, whose husband Robert served briefly on the department's faculty. The award is established to provide support to a graduate student in religious studies. The Robert and Mary Ann Small Stenger Scholarship goes to Kefas Lamak.
Hello, y'all. Thank you.
Kefas.
Yeah.
Kefas was nominated by both Dr. Menser and Dr. Robert Cargill. And Dr. Menser recognizes that Kefas demonstrates the attention, imagination, and discipline that excellent teaching requires. His interactions with students, whether written or oral, are characterized by a thoughtfulness and thoroughness of the highest caliber. Dr. Cargill also honors Kefas for the great job he did as a TA for one of Dr. Cargill's courses. Congratulations, Kefas. So this has been an exceptionally strong year for our graduate students, for our graduate program as a whole, especially in terms of student presentations, publications, external grants and awards, and job placements. So please give all of these and the rest of our graduate students a round of applause. Thank you so much. Back to you, Morten.
Thank you very much, Diana. Thank you for these award presentations, and congratulations all winners of our awards. I wish we had many more awards because we have so many great students, both undergraduate and graduate students, but we're very fortunate that we can, in fact, recognize some of our great students. So this is also, this is always a very uplifting and wonderful occasion here. So now we will go to the second part of the program for today, and that is our celebration of Frederick M. Smith, who is professor in Sanskrit and Indian religions here at the University of Iowa for, as I said before, 32 years. What we're going to do again is that Fred is going to talk a little bit about his career here. And then there's going to be some remarks by a couple of UI faculty and some of his former grad students and other friends. So we have already prearranged to have some people speak after Fred is done with his remarks. Very short comments. We don't have that much time. If there's anyone out there in the audience who also would like to speak and who has not been in touch with me, you could send me a message on the chat and just indicating that you'd like to say a few words too. And hopefully we'll be able to fit you in as well before the hour is over. So without any further ado, I'd like to pass the word over to Fred. I hope, Fred, you have a good connection. Fred is joining us from Italy, so he's a little bit long distance. Fred, are you here?
You're muted, Fred.
Okay, I'm muted. Okay, this connection has gone out on me a few times, and I've had to resuscitate it. And if it does, please just think of it as an act of God, or a God, or some sort of spirit or demon or elf. So let me take this opportunity to really to thank you all. I mean, I need to thank Morten for his sterling and right-thinking dedication to the Department of Religious Studies and for arranging this meeting in lieu of a retirement party. As some of you are probably aware, given my personality, I am absolutely petrified of the prospect of a retirement party. So this is a wonderful substitute. First of all, I have a lot of people to thank for making my 32 years at Iowa not only the major part of my adult life, for my growth as a scholar and as a human being. First and foremost, as I always knew viscerally, but learned daily while manning the barricades as the DEO in Asian and Slavic languages and literature, nothing would be accomplished if it were not for the consistently stellar staff whose presence has blessed me throughout. First and foremost are Maureen Malterhouse and Becca Tritton. Maureen, together with Robin Burns in Religious Studies, and Becca, together with Jenna Miller and others in the Division of World Language, Literature, and Culture. I've noted several times in Phillips Hall that the IQ of 111 Phillips Hall, the staff, is greater than that of the total rest of the building, including countless faculty members. And I'm serious when I say that. And I'm seriously indebted to Russ Ganem and Nada Jill Beckman for their hardworking and inspirational dedication to the Phillips Hall division. And Russ now as both a personal friend and as the director of the international programs. And the hordes of colleagues and staffs at IP, beginning way back when, with Karen Chappell, when I first arrived, those many years ago, and to a series of directors at IP. My life at Iowa has been more or less equally divided between religious studies, ASLL, and IP, although anyone who knows me closely will know that my heart was always in IP, as in all of the others. But, my engagement in international programs has been really we got to bring the world together. So I must mention my closest and most memorable colleagues over the years, including Morton Schluter, Philip Leckendorf, Susan Leckendorf, Paul Greeno, Mina Khandelwal, Aniruddha Dutta, Yael Silliman, Janine Sawada, Wendy Adamick, Katina Lilios, Chonman Ka, South Coblin, Helen Shen, Jim Enlow, and Scott Schnell. Those are just those who come to my mind right offhand. It's been an absolute joy to be with you all these years, and for the rest of you as well, all of my colleagues that I see out there in the audience. I was informed more than once by faculty speakers from Ivy League institutions that whatever high profiles they might occupy because of their institutions, one place that they are envious is of the community we have here at Iowa. In my case, it was largely in reference to our remarkable community of South Asia scholars, supporters, and students. Many names popped in my mind who have contributed to this experience, including, I should mention, Mino Menezes, Satish Khera, Praful Kelkar, and Nitin Karandikar, who've worked hard over the decades to bring us Indian music and other cultural events. Looking across the Zoom audience, I can see now that I'm really thrilled to see Jim McHugh, one of my great favorites. It's so wonderful to see you. May you live more than 100 years. And now I'm part of your generation too. So back to South Asian and Indian studies, I must say that I've lobbied for years with administrations to try to prevent its demise at Iowa. It's now up to the next generation to regenerate it to its best of your abilities. Internationalization of undergraduate education has been something that I've always been dedicated to, and it's now fallen on hard times as priorities and educational philosophy have shifted. We hope that the pendulum begins to swing in the other direction. And, but just as important as my colleagues have been my students, among whom most recently I'm proud to mention Pranab Prakash, Iva Patel, PJ Johnston, and reaching back further to Michael Baltudis, Susanna McNeely, Carol Angel, and John Gardner, among others. All of you have contributed mightily to my life, learning, and personal growth. I must also thank several figures who have always loomed larger than life for me, whose names are of the utmost importance because of my life and my career. Here I need to mention the late Professor Ludo Roche at Penn, and two other of my late teachers, Professor C.G. Kashikar in Pune, and one of the great pundits in India named Agnihotra Ramanuja Tatacharya in Chennai, and to Alberto Ferrario, with whom I'm now enjoying Italy, if under trying circumstances. And finally, one name who some precious few of you may know, to whom I am indebted as much as anyone, happens to be the name of Papageno, who happens to be my yellow-naped feathered friend and life companion, now 35 years old, whose unsurpassed brilliance has been instrumental in providing me with infinite knowledge in all fields for all of these decades. Iowa has proven to be a wonderful venue for me to complete a certain amount of research. I'm fortunate to have received in my career 5 grants from the American Institute of Indian Studies, of which Philip was the president for 8 years, although that had nothing to do with any of these grants, and 3 senior one-year Fulbright grants. I've been fortunate to have spent time teaching at Princeton and Penn, my alma mater, during this time, and to have been invited to speak at countless venues all over the world. But the bedrock of my life here has been my research, which has evolved considerably over the decades, changed. And this is one of the great gifts of American education, is that you're not locked into a single topic when you finish your PhD. I saw that in India when I was a student there for my MA. And I saw that all the PhD students ended up doing exactly what their dissertation advisors had done. And then they did that same thing for the rest of their careers. I see that as a trend in Europe also, even though, to be sure, primary research in Europe has galloped way beyond what it has been in the US, at least in indology over the last like 20, 30 years. And so I've become much more deeply involved in projects involving comparative religion, as well as in Indology or Sanskrit studies over the years. I have several projects that I hope to complete over the next 30 or more years, including 2 major Mahabharata projects. One is the final part of the translation of a long series of the unabridged National Sanskrit epic, which is now going to be published by Primus Books in Delhi, and of which I'm also the chief editor of that series now, and a Mahabharata in a local language in the Himalayas called Garhwali, which I'm undertaking with 2 colleagues, Bo Sachs at Heidelberg and Dr. D.R. Purohit in India. And I'm hoping to finish, and I will finish, this massive book of the 16 basic works of devotional philosophy by Vallabhacharya, who lived from 1479 to 1531, and another major translation of a project there called the Bhagavatartha Prakarana, which I will probably undertake along with a person named Anand Mishra at Heidelberg. And I want to complete a book that I started a long time ago on the use and nature of memory in South Asian tradition. And also I've always had it in mind to do a simplification and expansion in non-specialist terms of my possession book. Deserving of thanks in all of my research here has been the administration and staff of the University of Iowa Library. They've done a really remarkable job of always procuring almost everything I've requested from interlibrary loan, even if it's from really obscure sources in Hungary or Czechoslovakia or some strange place like that. So the staff, and beginning with Ed Shreves and on down, I absolutely have to thank them all. I need to also say that in my career at Iowa, I've seen an unstoppable and uncomfortable alliance take shape between the progressive forces of multiculturalism and the throttling forces of transnational capitalism, in which diversity, equity, and inclusion share operating space with branding, destination programs that perforce require advanced level marketing and advertising, sunsetting of positions and programs, including some of my own, and stakeholders, and in which the word strategic has been so dramatically overused that it has entirely lost its meaning. The intense competition of putting together CVs and taking courses that only contribute to a marketable CV are transforming our educational mission beyond my training and expertise. Among our challenges is to determine whether specialized knowledge is being sacrificed at the altar of some form of interdisciplinarity in which specificity is really getting lost. On one hand, interdisciplinarity is necessary to bring in students, but on the other hand, we need to preserve basic knowledge and work with original sources, especially in departments like ours of religious studies and Asian and Slavic languages and literature. I've been going on kind of a long time here, but I do want to say that I absolutely appreciate everything that all of my colleagues have done, all of my students, all of the staff that I've worked with, all of the people who got me to this place educationally, and life inspirations, whom I haven't even mentioned. So I just want to leave it at that, make it short and sweet because short. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much, Fred. We're gonna miss you. And it's nice to see, though, that you have plenty of plans to keep yourself busy, even though you're no longer going to be, here as a faculty member, except you'll still be an emeritus. So now we have a few comments, a few things that several people have said they'd like to say. And I probably should have mentioned in the beginning, but Fred reminded us that he's not only a religious studies faculty member. In fact, he's 50% in Asian and Slavic languages and literatures. So we had to share him. And in fact, he was most recently department chair of Asian and Slavic languages and literatures. So now I'd like to give okay, I can see somebody raise their hand. Okay. Well, Philip, I had not planned to have you speak first, but do you want to say a brief thing right now?
Yes, I'm only going to say a brief thing because I'm sure there are many people who have remarks to make about Fred, but I want to, Fred has thanked so many people, which is great. I want to thank him for being not only my closest colleague and a continually stimulating one over 35 years-ish, but also one of my closest friends and one of my wife's closest friends, Professor Susan Lutgendorf, who's in psychological and brain sciences and is actually in a Zoom meeting right now. Otherwise, she would be here as well. Fred has really been part of our extended family almost since the very beginning, and that's been deeply meaningful. But he is one of the most interesting people I've ever met. And for those of you who don't know him as well as I do, I mean, it's a fact about Fred that I've often pointed out that even after knowing him for more than 30 years, I regularly have the experience of discovering new things about him, about his mind and his interests and his tastes and his knowledge of an extraordinary range of things, not just in the fields that he is known for. And Fred is, if you don't know this, he's internationally known for his work in Sanskrit and Indian studies and his ethnographic as well as his textual work. So he's really an unusual Sanskrit scholar in that he's really taken this archaic language, out of the archive and the library and worked with it in all kinds of interesting field settings. But quite apart from that, Fred is just extraordinarily knowledgeable about music, classical music, both Western classical music and South Asian classical music, and has numerous, and I'm always amazed at his reading in fiction, recent novels, and as well as all kinds of scholarly work. It's really a model for me, an example that I've aspired to be like, but I don't have enough hours in the day to do it. But my hat off to Fred and a toast to him, and I only hope that he will continue to be physically present in my life in terms of wherever we both are, so that we can be in the same place as much as possible in years to come. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you very much. Now I would like to introduce to you another colleague, I should say, of Fred's in Asian and Slavic language and literatures, Professor Chunran Ke, who also has been chair of the department for a long period before Fred was chair. So Chunran.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's nice to see Philip Lutgendorf here, and also nice to see South Copeland. Both are my mentor in the department. Okay. While I echo Philip's sentiment, I only want to add that Fred joined the list of senior faculty members with integrity in the department. Such members in the department include Philip Lutgendorf and South Copeland. Both Phil and Sal have retired not too long ago. It is a privilege for me to teach in a department with colleagues like Fred. Departments can have positive or negative dynamics. Critical mass of senior faculty,
No more than half.
has a discernible effect on promoting a feeling of normalcy and on preventing a toxic workplace culture. Thank you, Fred. And once again, congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you, Chuanren. You've been just a great joy for my life and a close friend after 30 years.
Thank you very much, Chuanren. So now I would like to ask one of Fred's students from quite a long time ago who has said she would like to say something, and that is Susanna Schoweiler.
Hello. Hello, Philip. It's good to see you as well. So I was Fred G's graduate student 20 years ago, and it has been far too long since I have had the privilege of seeing him in the flesh. So I'll settle for this. Hello, Fred. I hope that you're well. I'm not at all surprised that you're in Italy right now, suffering through COVID, no doubt. I want to say thank you. Fred was such an important and formative mentor and friend to me. And so I can't believe that you're retiring. I got the news and I was like, what? It can't possibly have been. And then I realized, oh, right, 20 years. I suppose it is about that time. He's a brilliant scholar, elegant thinker, amazingly accessible and beautiful writer. But he is also an amazingly generous friend and mentor. And it's not as unusual to find a scholar who will invite you into their own research. Perhaps less usual is the scholar that will follow you into yours with so much generosity and with genuine verve and interest sincerely in you as a human. So thank you for being my friend. Thank you for officiating my wedding. Tom gives you his love. We think about you so often, and I think about Papageno and those evenings in conversation, and I wish you only love and joy and happiness and lots of intellectual juju. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Same to you.
Thank you very much, Susanna. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you in person. That's before my time, but it was nice to meet you here. Fred has spoken of you very fondly. So now we have another former grad student, but much more recent grad student of Fred's, Eva Patel. So Eva.
Hi everyone. Hi, Fred. This is so surreal. This is, can't believe you're retiring. I remember so vividly the first time I saw you. It was in Pune. Pranav and I had come to see you at Pune University to speak. And after the talk, I remember saying to Pranav, he seems like the kind of person who knows everything about everything. Well, at least you know a lot about almost everything. But once I became your student, I realized it takes a lot of humility to ask questions, and you did. You gave me so much space, and you continually asked really probing questions. And for somebody who is so widely read and knows so much, it was both humbling and also extremely bolstering in terms of confidence, in terms of my ability to think outside the box. I'm just so grateful. I'll share one anecdote, I think, that sums up just how much, Fred, you've supported me. There was a conference in Delhi. The panel was at 8 a.m. There were 3 of us presenters sitting there. We didn't know who was going to show up in the audience. At 8 a.m., in comes in 2 people, Fred and Philip G. Our audience was 2 people. He knew about that. Fred knew about that paper. We talked about it. It would have been okay if he hadn't shown up. I mean, he wasn't going to learn anything new about my work from that paper, but he came to support me. And Fred, it's been such a privilege to be your student. And I've learned so much from your writing, from numerous conversations that we've had, the 2 of us and with Philip G. I hope to continue to draw from that in the years to come and stay in touch. And I'm not done receiving mentorship yet. I still have that book to write, but thank you for everything, Fred.
And thank you a lot, Eva. Also, it's been a great privilege to have you as a student and to see you become a real person in life and get a real job and all of this stuff. You know, it's just great.
Thank you, Eva. It's very nice to see you. We miss you a bit here. I should also have mentioned perhaps that Eva, right after finishing her degree, immediately got a tenure track job at Augsburg University. So she's one of our many success stories. So now I want to ask a very recent graduate student who just finished last year to say a little bit, and that is Pranav Prakash.
Thanks a lot, Professor Sluter, for giving me this opportunity. And I really don't know what to say. I mean, Professor Smith and Professor Ludgendorff, both of them have been like parents to me. I really consider myself extremely fortunate that he accepted me as his graduate student several years ago. I remember during my undergraduate studies, I would go to the shop in Delhi called Motilal Banarsi Das, which is one of the major publishers of Indological literature. And I saw his first book, The Vedic Sacrifice, there. And then I started reading reviews of his recent publication at that point, which was The Self-Possessed. And of course, looking at his brilliant scholarship and favorable reviews, I was like, I want to study with them. And then I applied to this place, and I was really, really fortunate that he accepted me. But when I came here, I was an extremely nervous person. I mean, I had really low confidence in the study of South Asian languages and religion. Even the proposal that I had written was more to do with religion, less to do with languages, because somehow I had convinced myself that I was just bad at languages. It's not going to work. And then I joined his foundational Sanskrit class, which for someone who had started studying Sanskrit since the age of 5, had spent 7 years in Hindu monastic institution, was a ridiculous idea. But Professor Smith has this absolute knack of turning someone's confidence in a way that I really can't describe. I mean, I remember entering his class, and then he says to the whole class that, I mean, it's really important even for seasoned scholars and advanced graduate students to really refresh their traditional Sanskrit grammar periodically. And it was the first time in my life that someone had affirmed the fact that I knew Sanskrit. And that really boosted my confidence to the extent that I became obsessed with Sanskrit grammatical traditions. Professor Ludgendorff would know that as to how pedantic I tend to get in these matters. But for the first time in my life, actually, I was treated as being a thoughtful person, a person in my own right, a person who has experiences, whose opinions mattered, and whose views had some meaning and purpose. And since then, it has been an absolute delight working with Professor Smith, of course, with Professor Ludgendorff as well. He not only helped me gain confidence in the study of Indian languages and literature, he granted me that ideational space, like Eva was mentioning, where I was able to develop my own research agenda. Most graduate students, Professor Smith just mentioned in his brief observation, if you're working in an Indological subject, or if you're working on Sanskrit studies particularly, it's a norm that you would follow the footsteps of your advisors. You will work on a topic that is very closely associated with their topics. And that's why super subspecialization on obscure topics in Sanskrit studies is the norm. Fortunately for me, Professor Smith's research trajectory was so capacious that I was encouraged to think beyond the confines of Sanskrit and Hindu studies. Professor Ludgendorff's presence, Professor Greenhill's presence was also extremely stimulating. But Professor Smith and Professor Ludgendorff really encouraged me to go beyond the confines of Sanskrit and Hindu studies. And I decided to study Persian and Sufism in Iran, which at that point, with the saber rattling between the US and Iran, was a really bad idea. But somehow I embarked upon that. And they stood by me throughout those 2 years in India and in Iran. And right when I was about to, after I finished my study in Tehran, I was about to come back, I lost my father. And that was a big blow at the time when you are about to start your dissertation research. But Professor Smith and Professor Ludgendorff, he stood by me, made sure that I had all the arrangements here. They even paid for my travel back home for the death rituals. They helped me settle back into the program. I mean, I can recount thousands of stories of how they have helped me at every juncture during the graduate program. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I'm really absolutely grateful for all your affection and kindness. I finished, that incident happens, then I decide to do something with Sanskrit, Awadhi, and Persian and Islamic and Hindu studies, and go on the study of Hassan's poetics, whose manuscripts are scattered all over the world. And this was an ambitious archival project. Most advisors, even in good universities, well-endowed university, would be suspicious or would be, would caution their graduate students not to go on such a long archival research. But here there was Professor Smith and Professor Ludgendorff who kept on encouraging me throughout that whole long archival and ethnographic research. I mean, there were so many moments of hopelessness and of exhaustion, emotional and intellectual, and they were always there to rescue me. I really don't know how to thank you for everything you have done. I'm extremely grateful. I don't want to take much of your time, but it's been an absolute pleasure knowing you all. But more importantly, I don't think I could have wanted a better or a different a mentor in my life. I'm really grateful for all your kindness. I mean, I don't know what I would have done without your mentorship. I would even dread to think of what would my life be if I were not to join this graduate program and be mentored by you all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Pranav.
I'm really grateful to you all.
Thank you very much. It's funny to hear Pranav say that he thought he didn't have any facilitative languages, because he's the person I know who can read the most different languages in Persian and various dialects of Sanskrit and Indian languages. So also I should mention Pranav is starting as a research fellow at the University of Oxford in England in the fall for a 3-year appointment. So congratulations, Pranav. Major accomplishment.
Thank you.
I have nobody else on the list except for myself, but is anyone else at this point who would like to say?
I have one more anecdote I'd like to share.
Okay, you may.
Eva reminded me of how nice anecdotes are about Fred, and I really didn't tell any. But this is one that it's a professional anecdote, so I think you'll all appreciate it. And this goes back around probably 25 years. Fred was invited to be on a panel at the American Academy of Religion that somebody put together, and the subject of the panel was possession. Deity and spirit possession as a religious phenomenon. And Fred was asked to give a little paper that would look back at Sanskrit texts. And I remember when he started working on this, and he got interested. And the paper turned out to be 90 pages long. Now, of course, you all know that you cannot present more than 10 or 12 pages on any panel, but the paper ended up being 90 pages long. And of course, Fred was only able to present a tiny bit of it. And I remember being at that panel, and one of the other Sanskrit scholars in the room saying to me afterwards, only Fred could have pulled this off. He's the only person who has the grasp of the range of texts that he brought in to give a paper of such scope. And of course, it eventually became the 700-page book, The Self-Possessed, published by Columbia University Press in 2007, which is really the most important work currently in the field on this topic. So anyway, that's just an example of how Fred got drawn. And it was not a subject he had worked on at all prior to this conference invitation, but how his intellectual interests have blossomed as he's gone on. So Just
Thank
that.
you, Philip. Thank you very much. I can see a message here from PJ Johnston, who is another other great grad student here who would like to say something, but who might get too emotional. Hi, PJ. Is there anyone else who would like to say something at this point, since we have a few extra minutes here? Well,
Hey,
okay.
Michael.
Same here, says Michael, but yes, try if you like. Great to see you, Michael.
Hi, friend, everybody.
Hey, Michael, so good to see you.
Hi, Philip. Hi, Philip. How are you? I just want to say that I see myself as a sort of a hybrid mentee of both Fred and Philip. And in terms of the textual, the ethnographic, the performative stuff that I have been working on for the last decade, sort of this unwieldy combination of both of them, and I would not have it any other way. I want to thank Fred specifically for a sense of adventure that he has instilled in me that is certainly academic, but also generally professional and personal. I'm not from a family or community that would ever consider traveling to India or Nepal or spending months and years there over the course of a lifetime, and sort of in the way that what does Jonathan Z. Smith say about the religious studies, to make the strange familiar and the familiar strange, and Fred helped me to make the very unfamiliar familiar and comfortable, while also always knowing that I am in a different place. I'm doing something different, both from how I grew up culturally and in terms of friends and family, and it's that sense of adventure that Fred wittingly or unwittingly instilled in me that I am most appreciative for. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, Michael, for being so great. I mean, I love you all.
Thank you, Michael. Great to see you. I can see Christy has her hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Fred. I mean, when I interviewed for my position here, oh gosh, it was like the spring of 2012. I was really nervous because I was coming from a small liberal arts school where I was really comfortable teaching, and coming to a Big Ten, the possibility of coming back, which excited me. And I remember after I'd given most of my job talk, Fred said, "How do you think it went?" I don't know if you remember this, Fred, but it was in the, that area within Tippy where there's the grass and trees. And I was just out there taking some deep breaths, trying to get my bearings. And he said, "How do you think it went?" I said, "I think all right." He goes, "Good job." And he gave me like a high five. And it just made me so happy that you gave me a high five. And I was just like, okay, maybe I have a shot at getting this job. And I just wanted to thank you for not only for the high five, but for making me feel like whatever happened, like at least somebody in the department thought, like, was really happy and thought I was cool. You were always such a good colleague. And, at the national conference every year, you'd always be out and about, and you were just such a presence, and you always have come to the reception, and you'd always bring friends and colleagues. And you were just like such a connector. And while you and I are in very different fields, our areas of study, I really always admired how you got out there and how you clearly were always a connector to people, and how you have done so much for your grad students. I mean, I saw that, and I saw what you were doing, and I really looked up to that. And I wanted to thank you for that. As someone who had not worked with grad students of my own before coming here, you're one of those faculty members, those colleagues who really showed, without telling what you did, but by showing what you did. And I just wanted to thank you for showing and not telling, because that showing really, really meant a lot to me, and has meant a lot to me. So thank you. Appreciate that. And then good luck with everything.
Thank you, Christy. You're just such a great person, such a great leader, and so happy to have you as a colleague.
Thank you, Christy. Anyone else? Last chance. Okay, well then I'd like to say a few words, but I'm going to make it very short, and I'm going to try not to choke up myself. Oh, Diana, do you have your
Wait
hand
one
up?
second.
Yes.
South Coughlin had his hand up.
Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry.
Yep.
Yes, South. Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, South, so wonderful.
I read that having had you as a colleague in the Asian Languages Department was one of the most pleasant aspects of my career there and my career at the university. And now that you're retiring, I would just say to you, on the basis of my own experience, welcome to paradise.
Thank you, South. And I have to say that as far as little tiny anecdotes, one of my weirdest anecdotes was being in charge of a senior professor's evaluation, 5-year evaluation on South. And I thought, look, he's got 12 books and 84 articles. What am I supposed to say? He has always been a model and one of those people who has been involved in primary research and is a stellar model of linguistic clarity. And among South's great attributes, which I keep to this day, are his many letters to Linda Maxon.
Thank you very much, South. If there's anyone else who want to speak, you can just speak up in case I may not see. I can't see everybody on my screen, so feel free to just. So we're also getting closer to the end here, and so maybe it'll be my turn now. I just want to say a few words here, but I do have an anecdote, in fact, and it reminded me a little bit. Christy was talking about interviewing here. So my first meeting with Fred, really, I don't think we ever met before. I met Janine before, and there were other people in the department I knew about, but or at the University of Iowa, but I don't think I never ever met you, Fred. But the interview, you know, when you come as a candidate, you have interviews with individual faculty members, and one of them was, of course, with Fred. And he said, "Oh, can you come over to my house?" So I was, okay, sure, I'll be happy to come over to your house. So I went over to a house, and there Fred was sitting with a parrot on his shoulder. And so we had a very nice conversation. You probably don't even remember this, Fred, but I was thinking, wow, this is a cool place where the faculty is interviewing candidates with parrots on their shoulders. And so that was the first time I met Fred and Papageno. Oh, there he is. And there's Papageno. Yes. Since I had the pleasure of having many occasions of being at your house and you having Papageno on your shoulder. And I remember once he actually flew over and sat on my shoulder, and I was petrified because, you know, he has a pretty sharp beak. And I didn't think, I wasn't sure how he would react. But anyway, Fred, it's been fantastic to know you. I'm really happy that I ended up here at the University of Iowa. I've had great colleagues here, and you've been one of my very closest colleagues, both in terms of being close to my area of study. You know, I work in Asia, and so Janine Sawada was here when I came in Japanese religion, and Fred in Indian religions, and so we had a great partnership for a number of years. Unfortunately, we no longer have anyone in Japanese religions, and I guess very soon we'll no longer have anyone in Indian religion. So I'll be the lone Asianist here in the department. But anyway, it's been really great to have you as a colleague and even more so as a friend. I certainly hope we can keep in touch. I expect we're going to keep in touch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I will still miss this sort of more or less daily or at least weekly contact. You know, Fred would always, at least in pre-COVID times, stop by my office once or twice a week, and we'd have a nice chat. And of course, we see each other otherwise too. And I always really appreciated, Fred, many things about you. I appreciated your humor, which I think is a really important quality. I also appreciate your wisdom and your insight on many things. And I feel I learned a lot from you over the years. On many different levels. I also really admire your scholarship and your productivity, and also your dedication to your scholarship, which is really an inspiration for me. So I just want to thank you for so many things, Fred, and I won't say goodbye because I'm sure we'll have lots of interactions in the future, but congratulations on your retirement. As I think you know, we all love you. We will all miss you very much in this department, but we also wish you all the best for your retirement, which no doubt will be full of lots of activities and travel and all sorts of interesting things. And we hope some of that travel will take you to Iowa City too.
Well, I have lifetime friends there, and I see every reason why I need to return periodically, if not more than periodically. So thank you, Morten, for hosting this. And let me just say one thing about our DEO, Professor Schluter here, and that's that at that interview where after which he became professor here, I walked away thinking, I've interviewed dozens of people in my life, but there's very few of them from whom I've actually learned something during the interview. I thought, wow, this guy has got to be my colleague if I have anything to do with it. So there you are, and many thanks.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. Okay, everybody, I think we're just about out of time, but thanks so much for being here. And again, congratulations to Fred. Let's all give him a hand and wish him all the best.
Thanks to all of you.
Thank you to all of you who spoke and participated in honoring Fred at this event. I'm sort of hoping, I haven't really told you, Fred, but I'm sort of hoping that maybe if you're back in the fall or the spring, we can actually have another event. We can't have too many celebrations of Fred. Maybe have another in-person event. And in that case, I hope many of you who are here will be able to be there too. But we'll see what we can pull off, but we'll try.
Yeah, I hope I can come back for the Gandhi event in the fall.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds great.
All right.
Okay. Well, bye, everybody.